right, well, hello and welcome back for the first game of week 4. And by the way, it's exceedingly likely we're going to have a few guest appearances by our good friend Thunder, but hey, well, that'll just kind of be around. As we are hoping for a good game, as always, here you can see Boston sitting at a good 3-0. Up against Louden, up at 1-2, but they're still only one place on the leaderboard apart. You can also see, though, Boston, a lot of close games. 2 different game 5s there, with, of course, a sweep in the middle, although Vancouver didn't have their full roster. And then on the other side, Louden struggling a little bit more, not getting to any game 5s, but again, they have that sweep victory over KC that does get them still a win on the board. Moving over to our weekly schedule, once again, a lot of top versus bottom, and that's especially because the league standings are incredibly polarized, as we'll see. And so it'll be kind of like last week again. We'll see if the top teams can keep it up and which of the ones towards the bottom can climb, as what those groups are. We have 4 at 3-0. 3 at 0-3, and then 3 in the middle at 1-2. So a 2-game gap between the top 4 and the next few. And that puts them in a great spot, as of course the top 6 will be clinching their spot directly to the playoffs after their regular season. So a long way to go to get there, only a third of the way in, but of course, pretty good start. As we can look over to our stats, Gamer and Craney will be your key players for these two teams. And I think that's a fair label. I think at the same time, I'm interested to see what the people around Gamer can do. Because, as I have said, Boston, I think their main struggle, especially the reason why they've gone to these game 5s, is that they don't quite have the speed to dominate a team. And so then as a game is close, they kind of fall into it staying close, and they just get stuck in the midfield trying to get something but not getting enough. And so I think it'll kind of fall on Bacon and Pitt to see if they can help to speed up that pace. But I think Gamer is still, as the stats show, likely the rock of the team with the most assists, saves, and demos, as well as getting the most shots, although Bacon gets a couple more goals than him. So, yeah, I think that's going to be the main question for me. Can Boston win this more convincingly? And can they show off some speed? Then on the other side, of course, we have Louden, as Craney just kind of standing out, as he has. Main thing for me, I don't believe Louis got many goals last week, but in the inverse of that, Pinky actually went up quite a bit in terms of his shooting percentage. So for Louden in that game against Madison last night, they forgot what defense was. It's just that simple, They just fully forgot. And so, like, games 3 and 4, there were 0 saves from Madison. And so that definitely helped with Louden to boost their shooting and give them some good stats. But, of course, they did still come out on top. And so now Louden down at 1-2, looking for another rebound against another top team. We do have everyone in, and so we are going to jump into this one. As far as my prediction, if it wasn't clear, I'm predicting in favor of Boston. And honestly, I'm going 3-1. I think skill of team, it should be a 3-0. But Boston have not often gotten 3-0s. And I think Louden are a team that if they aren't going to dominate them, they can probably fight and get a game out of it. As Craney looks for a pass across, we are going to have no Louis in game 1 for Louden and no Pitcop in game 1 for Boston. So pretty typical from what we've seen in terms of sub-rosters. Now Bacon trying to get it downfield. Adam now sending it down the sideline again. Now bounced across. Dishonored. The shot downfield. It's in. Just as we started to wonder. It will be 1-0 for Louden. Just a shot from midfield. And 40 seconds in, the Lynx. So this one popped away. Down off the ceiling again. Dishonored over to the left wall. Now Gamer across again towards the net, but it's off 2 posts and out. Hits off the woodwork twice. But that one just not quite doing enough to make it through. As this one's up in the air now, dropping down. Dishonored trying to find a teammate. It falls to Gamer. Gamer playing it across. Adams there, can't play it in. And Bacon's beat by Craney. Now Gamer looking for a shot. He'll get it. And it's a tie game. The pressure gets to the defense as it's panic from Craney. Nowhere he can go. And Gamer 50'd it right through him. And so after an early goal by Louden, and after a good amount of pressure the other direction, finally, the Falcons will break through and they'll bring this game level. Now the question will be who gets the next goal. So far looking like Boston, but Gamer's double goes way wide. Adam now not going to turn on that one, and so Pinky gets a free clear downfield. Rolling up to the ceiling, Gamer waiting, Pinky diving. It's pretty even on the 50. It will bounce out of the corner, but it's right to Dishonored. But now Dishonored misses it. That'll allow Bacon one down to the orange back wall. Adam moving in, keeps it in the corner. Gamer is there, 50 wide. Bacon now the only one with boost. Will have to be patient until finally he dives. He'll pinch it around, but it's not on target, and it's saved away by Dishonored. Now 3 players jump. Pinky just barely gets a piece of it. Adam not able to read it either, though. And it'll be Bacon to clear it down in the end. As we approach the halfway point here, still tied up at 1 for the moment. Adam now not going to connect on that. Dishonored downfield. Bacon 50 down the sideline. Following it up, playing it around. This one a little bit awkward like the first goal, but this time it gets played out to the side. One pop backwards. Bacon racing in. He'll get a dunk on Dishonored. Craney backflips. In the air is Adam. It's wide and Gamers is blocked. And now another long clear and another long goal. It's Dishonored again. And it's 2-1 for Louden. Bacon not able to get back in time. And the Lynx claim their lead. Now falling down again. Boston looking for another equalizer. That shot is wide. Now around the outside, Pinky taking to the air, slowing it down, eventually clears it in as now Adam tries to clear it away, but it goes straight up in the air. Adam now jumping for another. Craney will get it down the sideline. Now rolling down. Popped up in the air. Dishonored off the corner. Bacon gonna have to let it go. Now Gamer on the outside again. Bacon pops it up. This one off the back wall. Dropping down. Played off the post. Adam now following it. Bumped by Craney. Still gets the 50 past midfield. Bacon will play it on target, but there's 0 power. And that one's pretty easily rebutted away. That one sent in by Gamer. He'll get a demo as well, as I think Adam and Pinky are rule 1, we'll say. That's what we'll call it. As this one cleared down the sideline. It gets over 1. Now over to this side. Bacon trying to go again. Yeah, Shade, I think you guys infected them. They have 2 goals based on not having defense. They caught the curse. And of course, we're still in our 2v2 here. Gamer's shot now blocked away. Bacon up off the bar again. Might bump the 2, but manages to avoid them. Now Bacon playing it down to the back wall. Craney gonna miss the boost. That'll give some space to Bacon, but his first touch kind of gives it away. Given back to Gamer though, but he can't get a flick. Sent to the sidewall for the moment. Final 30 seconds here. Pinky in the air, 50'd by his teammate. 20 seconds to go now. The rule 1 was broken somehow. And Boston need to get a goal here soon. Gamer in the air, dropping across. Bacon can't read it. 5 seconds ticking down. Cleared back. Adam passes it back to Gamer. This will be the last chance. Clock reads 0. And that clear will seal it. Louden take game 1. They may be underdogs, but they won't show it. They get outshot 8-3 at least. And I know Adam had a couple shots. But hey, just like against Madison to a point, they got the shots they needed. You know? It felt like, obviously, Dishonored 2 for 2. Neither of them were shot from within the final third. It was just a long clear that there's no one to defend. And so, after one game, it's 1-0 Loudon. So like I said, based on team, you might expect that Boston could sweep this, but that's not how it goes. They just don't have that killer instinct that you'd like to see. And of course, they did have Adam in, as now we're going to see that change come through, and Pitcott will jump in to replace him. But overall, it just feels like this team, I'm kind of scared for them next week when they go up against Inchin, because maybe they played a level. Maybe this works better against, well, of course it works better. Obviously, they've been winning. But maybe it works and can at least get them like the same extent of results against a better team too. But it's always scary when you are struggling to beat those lower teams if it will actually apply, especially when it feels like a speed issue. But again, it might be a thing where they struggle to play against those slower speeds, and it's kind of like they don't know how to play if they aren't reacting to an opponent, and so when that opponent is slow, they kind of get caught in the same thing. So we will see. That's why Inchin will be the test for them, but a little bit rough, as of course we are underway here in game number 2. As we said, Pitcott jumping in, trying to be the change his roster needs to get back into this series. This one's dropped down again. Bacon trying to play it in response to what, Adam? Now played back. Craney looking for the play downfield, and he's just gonna dice him up. Craney gets goal 1. Boston, Adam. I feel like you guys, in saying Boston, have been a pretty good team. Obviously, you're 3-0. But if I had to say one thing in all of these games, it feels like there isn't domination. It's just kind of turning into a more even game or a complete lack of pressure. And I think kind of the root of that is you can't make teams awkward. And I mean, the teams that typically win tend to be playing very fast, like trying to be, and not like trying to be the equivalent of a Prism type play style. And I just haven't seen that out of Boston. As that is almost in, Pinky will try to get it away, and he'll get a great 50 to get it out. Gamer now dropping it in again, and it's over to the right side. Now across. See, Adam, and that's the thing, as this one's on, but it's blocked wide. The more speed you have, obviously, the less you need off-ball pressure, because you pretty much always have someone on the ball. Then you can also kind of force them to panic because they expect you to be there. So that's kind of why the speed can force mistakes and make it easier to force pressure in your favor. But, of course, you can win without it, as we've seen. It just has not exactly been clean. As this one is bouncing back out, they let it bounce out, and Bacon's forced into a save. Still a 1-0 Loudon lead here as we crest the halfway point. And game 2 running its course. Not looking a whole lot better for Boston so far. Pinky now going to pop it up towards the ceiling. It'll fall back down. Bacon trying to bounce it in. Craney's alone, and he'll get the play for now. Gamer, it's high. That's the other thing I will say, the shooting. Been a couple times I think they should have put some on target, but we'll see if they can find the one they need as Craney's getting it over to the other corner. This one now going back. Pick Cop down the sideline. Pinky's there to cut it off. Louden just really not giving them anything. I feel like there haven't been that many saves made for Louden. It's either some bad shot that's off target, or they aren't getting shots at all. As this one forward, it gets over Pitt. Gamer's alone. Fortunately, he manages to get the 50 just barely wide. Pitt now on the catch. That one shot again, but it's just barely wide. Boston so close to conceding another, but it stays a 1-goal difference for now as there are 70 seconds left to go. I mean, you're not wrong, but I mean, you still have to play safe. You can't commit everything, but the people who are going for the ball can just try to be fast. Try to go quick. And speed's obviously pretty tough, but it's kind of just... I mean, I play quite safe. This one's over to the left. Now down off the ceiling. Dishonored looking for a play in. It's right at Pitt. He'll pop it up. Boston starting to get towards desperation mode as Pitt's play forward is blocked away. Gamer now just taps it off the right wall. And then it's plays like that. You have two players there trying to make a play, and then it's just a wayward touch off the sidewall. So I think that's part of it too. I think obviously you can try to say you're slowing it down to get the meaningful touches, but it hasn't felt like they have been, as there's a bump and it's 2-0. Louden double their lead. Dishonored helping out, booming the last defender away. Pit Cop didn't stand a chance, and apparently neither do Boston. As there are 10 seconds left to go, it is 2-0, and it's gonna be 3. See, that's what you can't do. Obviously, time's running down, but that's not even trying to be fast. That's just cheating up too far. That Pitt and Gamer are both all the way downfield, and it's right in. So I feel like it's not an issue of trying to speed it up too much and like leaving open nets in that way. I think it's just like aggression in trying to get downfield and yet not getting a lot of threat once they are downfield. But for Louden, it's been a fantastic series. They have held Boston to 1 goal, despite them once again getting 8 shots. They do get outshot 9-8, but shut out 0 for 8, and now 0-2 in the series. Louden are making it look clean. And, I mean, I was hesitant on Boston, as I have been in every series. But as with every series, I was expecting them to kind of the Hanoi of it all. And just kind of like, oh, well, it's close, but they'll win in the end. But so far, it has not been that way. Louden have just outplayed them. And again, it's Craney, 3 goals on 4 shots. And a lot of them were open nets again. There was the one bump, which was also on a counter. But I think, like chat's saying, like we pointed out, Boston certainly need to hit their shots. They definitely need that shooting to lock in because they should have more shots, more goals than they do. But at the same time, Boston just haven't done anything. I feel like only some of the shots they missed have been easy. A lot of them are just tough plays. As that one bangs wide. Now Pitt down towards the corner. He'll look to follow it up, fakes it back. Craney won't get it, but Dishonored will. And of course, through all of it, you do have to credit Louden. I mean, you could say what you do about Boston and the mistakes they're making. Louden are taking advantage. Louden are playing good defense, which is preventing them from scoring the chances they are getting on target. And then they're just taking advantage. They're taking the long clear, and they're putting it on target. And so, impressive series from them as they are 1 goal away from taking down the undefeated Falcons. And it's a bad start again. No one is near the net. Gamer just misses. Bacon stuck in the corner. And Craney just walks it in. Another just mistake with no one else back. And it's now 1-0 for Louden. For the 3rd game in a row, this could help, but will they even score? No, they will not. A miss, but it bangs off the post. Then the follow-up is 50'd away. Almost looked like a Louden counter, but it's cut off well by Boston. Gamer now off the post. 50'd up in the air. Bacon and Pitt both up for it. It hits the bar, but they're lucky this time. It's a shot in by the defense as Pinky gets the last shot down. And it's 1-1. See, Koala, but the problem is this isn't Shade's team. Like, Madison last night showed they didn't play defense, but they played a whole lot of offense. And so as a result, they only lost 1 game. Meanwhile, Boston, they aren't playing a lot of defense, but they also don't have any offense. And so if you're doing neither, that won't work out very well. Now, of course, this game going a little bit better as they are tied, but still a ways to go. This one's down off the back wall. Now played back again. Pitcop off the left side. Bump comes through. Pitt's in the air. Off the post. Gamer dunk to the side. Pitt now will miss that boost so Craney can get it away. It's Bacon to send it back in. Pinky will make the save. It's just like that we've seen the good out of Louden in this series. They can receive that pressure, then they'll play it the other way. Now this one, no shot there. Could have been another chance, but they won't connect. And now Pitt gets another big 50 downfield. Pinky playing it around the outside. This one sent down over Gamer now. Towards the sidewall again. Bacon sending it long downfield. Just over 2 minutes left to go. Still a lot of time and still nothing separating these two teams in game number 3. And we're tied up at 1. And remember, this is the last life for Boston. They're going to need a reverse sweep, which I believe we've seen 1 of this season. And it's going to be tough. We'll see if they can get it done. I don't remember what series it was, but I'm pretty sure there's been 1 reverse sweep. This one's up in the air. Played around. It wasn't Prism, was it? Dropping down, Gamer off the bar, but after several bounces, it finally goes in. Wait, did Hanoi reverse sweep? I forgot. 91 seconds left to go. And it's a lead for Boston. But of course, only by 1, so it's far from secure. This one's cleared away again. No, it wasn't. Okay. This one up in the air again. Pinky trying to get it away. Now 50 drops back down. No one on that one as Pitt will clear it long downfield. Now caught over to the left wall. This one popped across by Gamer. Dishonored's trying to bring it back down. Now Pitt trying to play it in. Will get a dribble, but it goes wide, and then it's blocked even further so. Now rolling back again. Gamer catching up to it. This one across. Pitt will go. It's missed by Pinky, but there's no follow-up shot. Now up in the air again. No one is on that one. Now there, though, is Pitt Cop. They did find it. It was Denver reverse swept Buffalo. As Pitt finally has a shot. This time it's not a dribble. It is dead center, but it's over 1. And through to the net. And so Boston now open up a 2-goal lead I did have to check, because I knew there was a reverse sweep, but I forgot what it was. So it was Denver that got that last one. We'll see if Boston can do the same. And this one's off the back wall, blocked out to the side, well read by Louden. Dishonored now behind it. Down off the ceiling, Craney still going the wrong way. And they don't have the time for it. It'll run down to 0. And with a 2-goal lead, Boston fight back. 3-1 in the game. So the first game won by multiple, as they're going to outshoot them 8-4, outscore them 3-1. And finally get themselves a game in this series. And so as we move on towards game number 4, let's see if they can do it again. As we said, there's been one reverse sweep this season, but there have been a whole lot more, especially through the first 2 weeks, that got to game 5 and fell short there. But even before that, Boston have to get to game 5, because they get a win back, but they need 2 more. Let's see if they can get it done. By the way, Louis is in the call for Louden, but oh my, Dishonored. That's a way to start the game. Dishonored bangs it forward, smashes it down behind the defense. That's the thing. That wasn't just a double tap. That was a well-placed shot after the double tap. As 10 seconds in, Louden lead, but it won't last long. And pretty quickly, it is responded by Pitcock. Only 6 seconds after the first goal, there's a response, but Gamer gives it right back. And Craney makes it 2-1. Gamer has a full boost tank, but he panics, pops it right across, and it's an easy shot. You see the idea. He doesn't want to leave it, and he does have Pitcock over in the corner. Now this one's forward, but it's dunked out to the side again. Gamer trying to go the other direction, will play it forward. Now it's popped up in the air by Craney. Bacon's alone, Dishonored in the air. No chance, but Gamer gets there instead. Bacon's getting bullied. He had no chance of jumping, but his teammate helps him out. But now, unfortunately, he has none on the field until it's Gamer again that respawns and makes the play. Now towards net. And in. And it's 3. This game has been all Louden thus far. And Pinky punishes. Gamer just too wide of a rotation. Gets bumped out of it. And it's now a 2-goal lead. 1 minute in. Some feet away. Craney trying to get it up. Now Gamer chasing it. Craney has a shot though. Fortunately for Boston, just off the post as Bacon makes the play. Pinky now on target. Pitt's there this time. Pitt trying to get it downfield. Plenty of time for his team, but they've dug themselves a hole to get out of. Gamer now up off the right wall. Looking for one more, but it 50s to the other side. Now downfield on target, but it's cleared off the side. 2 players go, it's Gamer, but it's Craney for the block. Now pinched up towards the ceiling, pass back to Pitt, 50'd by Dishonored. Rolling out, shouldn't be shootable. Boston are going to concede some space. Craney trying to get it out, Bacon will send it right back in. Pinky now with control again, he'll get over Gamer. Pitt in the air. Even 51 by Dishonored. Forward. So that's the problem though, Bloom. Nothing has been a slam dunk for Boston. Except for the time that a team didn't have their best player. All of their games have gone to game 5. And so Louden are now just taking advantage as Boston again in about 2.5 minutes don't really have shots other than their one that was kind of just an open chance for Pitt. As finally, though, at the halfway point, Boston get another. It's Bacon who 50s through 2. And it's back to a 1-goal game here. Now over to the left wall. Pitt gonna steal that boost. Craney on target. Bacon makes the play. Looking for another touch. He'll get it up the corner. Craney now 50 across. Gamer will play it back into the side. Won't get a double though as Dishonored races in. It was a double. They both miss. And Dishonored does not. 4-2. Pidcock dives in and it leaves no one in the net. And with 2 minutes left to go, the lead is once again 2 goals. Now played across, Pinky gets around Bacon. Pitt trying to go fast, he gets beat. Gamer now playing it across. Bacon will get it over off the right wall. Pitt now following it up. Cleared downfield right at Pinky, and he'll return the fire. 1:10 seconds left to go. Dropping to 100. And it's starting to look a little bit rough for Boston as Craney makes another save. Pitt now trying to keep it forward, but Craney gets the 50. Gamer will run out of boost. Bacon's there next though. Dishonored, a great touch to pop that away. Gamer now too rough of an angle to get it on target. Craney could be a pass, but it's to his teammates until Pitt crashes the party. 4-3. Boston fight back again. It looked like a bad touch by Craney. Dishonored is there, but unfortunately for him, he hits it right into Pitt. And Boston get one closer. 78 seconds to go. Bacon getting bumped as he grabs that corner boost. Now Bacon 50s with Gamer. Pitt has to retreat, but it might not be enough until Bacon, a diving effort, keeps Boston alive. Pinky now trying to pop it up in the air. Dishonored in the air. This time he won't connect. It's clear though, is right to Pinky, and the pressure will continue. Gamer not gonna get a touch there. Pitt will beat him. Can he get a shot though? No. Craney gets it to the side. Gamer now way too strong as Pitt will get demoed. Bacon will race in. Runs out of boost. Clear right to Craney. Pidcock rather now just sending it back down to the corner. Looking for a pass down. Gamer blocked wide. Bacon beat to it. Pinky looking for a play across. Bacon pull shots him into getting more power. Craney beats Pitt. 20 seconds left to go. High in the air. Craney to the left wall. Bacon is waiting, but that one's to no man's land. Pinky now waiting under it. He'll pop it up in the air. Pitt is so awkward. Bacon doesn't have boost. They're panicking. They're flailing, but they're getting nothing. They just need the floor, and they find it. 3 games. Boston are 1 goal down, desperate to get the one they need. And 3 games, it will not happen. Louden shut down the undefeated Boston squad, and they find themselves a 4-game victory. Still 1 behind them, but boy does it look a whole lot closer. Meanwhile for Boston, as I said, issues I've seen all season. They haven't looked great, and finally they are punished. As, again, they just could not get the pressure. They could not get threatening shots. And in the early part of the series, they weren't hitting the shots they did get. And so I think pretty clearly, it's just an issue of maybe you aren't a team that can play with that speed. Based on what I've said, based on what I've seen, and based on what Gamer has, like based on what I know of Gamer, I don't associate him with a team that plays that fast. And so maybe they just can't play like that. And then they need to be much more methodical and need to actually know what they're doing, can't afford to waste opportunities. But more importantly, we are going to have an interview, and so we will be back in just one moment. And we are back with Louden, a 4-game victory. How's it feel to be back to 500?
Pretty damn good, actually.
Yeah, feels good.
Yeah.
Especially now that I hit my peak. Time to retire like everybody else.
Yeah, Dishonored, man. You know what they say? He just plays ones.
Dude, I just play ones.
That's the
Just
only
the
reason we
power.
won tonight is because we play ones.
My title says I know ball. So you know.
Okay, fair. Were you guys expecting to win this one?
I felt confident
Okay.
because
Yep,
I
wouldn't
felt
say
like.
expecting, though.
Nah, I would say expecting Levy pick up. Panda's team was beatable, and we kind of played lackluster there. So
Yeah,
we
just
kind of had to take it out on Pickup's team. So apologies.
Yeah, Panda peaked on me, so I had to peak on somebody, and unfortunately, it was Pickup's team.
yeah, like we just had the defensive side to sort out like today. Just so much better.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and Louis a G. My high buddy. My
He's
high
here for
friendly
vibes.
Mexican.
Yeah, I didn't need to play. I was trying to warm up Pickup. He didn't want it.
Well, hey. Now I do have to
Just trying
ask.
to give him a better scrim.
Of course. After game 3, Boston finally get a win. Was there a little bit of doubt there, or did you guys know it was in your hands?
I'd
No, our
say we
manager
know it
likes
was in
to
our
throw
hands.
ball. He just likes bumping his own teammates instead of the other people.
Yeah, he like
yeah.
put me on the back wall.
I was really hoping it didn't go to game 5 because I started getting high. So I trusted them.
Yeah,
so-
I threw that third game. Not gonna lie.
Mm,
So
fair enough. Well, obviously a big win for you guys. Next up, you guys are scheduled to play Daytona, another currently undefeated team. How do you guys feel about that matchup?
their ass.
Wait, the top team was undefeated.
It's Aiden, Garboy, Romeo, and Cozy. Yeah.
It's cozy, yeah, no problem, easy game.
Yeah.
Oh, Cozy's
yeah.
free?
Full
Okay.
sweeping him.
Yeah,
Full sweeping
cozy's free for sure.
Yeah. Cozy and Aiden. God,
More
they
worried
should
about
just-
his brother than I am him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Their salary should be 1,000, not
Yeah,
the other two.
That
Yeah,
might need
why
to
is
lower
Cozy
the limit
five?
for him.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Well, I do think that's about all I have for you guys. So congratulations on the win and good luck next week.
Thanks, Doggo.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for casting.
Yep.
Love you.
Sure.
Say it back.
Uh-huh.
Say it back.
Oh!
You have to say it back.
All right. Well, that does it for the first game of the night, as Louden are going to take it in 4 games. I feel like I've said what I need to say enough. Boston, this needs to be your wake-up call. Need to put the time in. Figure it out. They've played... Let's look at their schedule real quick. They've played Buffalo, 0-3. Vancouver, 0-3. And then Bedford, who are 1-2. So, of course, there are no 2-1 teams. Bedford are technically a more quality game. But they haven't played incredibly strong teams. And yet, they still haven't looked good beating them. And now, finally, they get punished. And they lose to one of these teams. And so, obviously, like we said, there are no 2-1 teams. So, they're guaranteed to stay 4th. If not, they might be able to climb higher. But unlikely, as they were already losing tiebreakers to these teams. I guess if Daytona gets swept this week, they could drop below them. Other than that, I don't know. We'll see. But just generally, they can't fall that far. But this needs to be their wake up that, yeah, we need to lock it in a bit. But either way, that will do it for the first game of the night. We do have one more on track. That'll be at 10 p.m. with Denver taking on Vancouver. Hope to see you back then, but your final score one last time. Louden 3, Boston 1. And so we'll see you back in just a little bit for the second game of the night.